Carnival Cruise Line's newest ship on the West Coast is the Carnival Firenze. The Carnival Firenze cruise ship is in many ways a mirror image of the Carnival Venezia ship, currently sailing the east coast of the United States, but has just enough differences to be unique. Of course, both the Firenze and the Venezia are two Costa brand ships that Carnival, the parent corporation of Costa, decided to repurpose for the American cruise market and bring many of the Carnival signature favorites on board these Italian ships to really present a new option to American markets, and that is Carnival Fun Italian style. Dining and food on the Carnival Firenze also mirrors many of the dining and food options the Venezia has, but again, there are just enough differences to be unique and, dare I say, even a little better. So let's get started with the included, or what some people call the free, restaurants on board Carnival Firenze. My first meal on embarkation day was on Deck 5 at Lastrada Grill. This complimentary Italian street food station, as they call it, was something I knew about from my Venezia cruise, and as someone who was staying on Deck 6 right above this area the last time, and now, of course, right around the corner here on Deck 5 this time, I was thrilled to have such a fresh, delicious option on sea days in particular. Tucked away on one side of Deck 5, Lastrada Grill shares some similarities with Guy Fieri's Pig and Anchor, as it serves up barbecue and mac and cheese in addition to Italian sausage sandwiches, panzanella salad, and the like. And since it's off the beaten path, the lines here are not very long since fewer people just seem to know about it. The crew here, always very engaging, and the selections did change slightly whenever it was open. This location is surrounded by long, stretching seating areas and does rub up against a nearby smoking area, so if the wind blows the right direction, it is something that you might be impacted by. Moving to the included main dining rooms, as you reach the top of a sweeping staircase, you're greeted by a replica of Michelangelo's famous David statue, setting the tone for the refined elegance of the two-level Michelangelo dining room. The atmosphere is both glamorous and timeless, with striking black and white decor and massive chandeliers lighting up the space with a warm, sophisticated glow. This is also where my time dining takes place, and given how busy it can get, making a reservation is always strongly advised to avoid that dinner rush chaos that you might find. The menu changes daily, offering a wide range of appetizers like soups and salads, main dishes, including specialties from renowned Carnival chef partner Emeril Lagasse, and of course, irresistible desserts. If you're in the mood for something extra special, you can enhance your meal by paying a small surcharge for upgrades like sushi from Bonsai or a premium steak from the Fahrenheit 555 steakhouse that we'll cover in a little bit. I took advantage of my time dining and would notify them on my app when I wanted to dine. Never had to wait longer than 10 minutes before I was notified that a table was available. I showed it to the host at entry, and they whisked me away to my seat. I've said it before, I'll say it again. My time dining is a solo traveler's best friend if you're not looking to be sat at a communal table and instead just have some you time. You can also eat breakfast in the Michelangelo dining room, and on sea days, it's worth braving the crowds for the outstanding sea day brunch, another thing that I as a solo greatly appreciate. Tucked away midship on Deck 3, the Medici dining room offers set seating for guests who still like a reserved table and dining time every night. While the space isn't as grand as Michelangelo, it does still evoke a very upscale Italian vibe with patterned ceilings, cream and gold columns, curvy chandeliers, along with a lot of photo details that are really fun to look at. The dinner menu here is the same you would find in the other dining room, and on sea days, Medici becomes the place for an included pasta lunch with choices like spaghetti carbonara and linguine with meatballs. It's a great option when you are seeking a calmer atmosphere away from the lunchtime crowds up on the Lido deck. And speaking of, the Lido Marketplace is your home for the Carnival Firenze's buffet on board. It is almost always busy. Expect lines at most times that you visit, always bustling up in this area. The buffet does repeat from one area to another, and it became clear throughout the voyage that near the back of the ship where it repeats, It was always less impacted than the front. So the front closer to the main pool always had the biggest crowd. You go closer towards the aft pool on this deck, and you found far less of a line. The seating area around the Lido evokes a theme of an Italian garden with lots of nooks and crannies, and some of the walls were even decorated with Italian posters. One of the nice things about this space is that there always seemed to be a spot to sit at, no matter how crowded the buffet became. I love that. I also really appreciate the fact that this area is so well themed. It's just very photogenic because of that, right? So lots of great pictures to be taken throughout this space. Breakfast has an in demand omelet station in addition to the usual American morning favorites. Stations at lunch included Comfort Kitchen with items such as meatloaf and chicken pot pie, highlighted Chef's Choice International cuisine such as Greek or Italian. Of course, you have the standard salad bar and a dessert section, as well as many more offerings throughout the day. Dinner was similar in terms of what it offered, as well as a few options from the main dining room menu. For the night owls, the buffet has a handful of options like chicken strips, hot dogs, fries, meatballs, slices of cake, you name it. They do have it here well into the night. Select soda and beer on demand purchase fountains were scattered throughout the buffet, while the scanning of your room key card is an easier way of using your drink package to enjoy these. During the entirety of my cruise, I never saw the soda options available. Unfortunately, they were always shut down. The beer, however, was usually available. Speaking of drinks, your included options on board are, of course, water, lemonade, iced tea. You got yourself some coffee, standard tea, and in the morning, select juices like orange and apple juice. And we cannot forget the morning to late night swirls nearby, which still includes your soft serve ice cream. When it comes to food allergies, Carnival is laser focused on your needs. A waiter will ask you before every meal if you have any sensitivities or preferences, and the Menu Mate program allows the staff to tell you immediately what items on the menu are available for you to eat and what items can be customized and which you should avoid. A Menu Mate crew member is also located at a podium in the Lido Marketplace to help you navigate the menu if you need it. Right outside the buffet sits Guy's Burger Joint. This Carnival favorite gets an Italian twist on Firenze with two new burgers: the pepperoni pizza burger, topped with fried mozzarella and pepperoni, and then, of course, the super melty moots, which includes fresh mozzarella, tomato, and basil. While some classics like the pig patty might be missing, these new additions are definitely worth a try, and you can always load up your burgers with whatever you'd like at the nearby toppings bar, which also includes all your sauces. It was a gluttonous dream for me to dive into the pepperoni pizza burger, and it is my new personal favorite. In fact, I'm sad that this is only available on these Italian style ships, and not all of them. I am definitely going to miss it on board other Carnival ships. On the other side of the Lido deck, combining Mexican and Italian flavors, Tomadoro serves customizable burritos, tacos, and other Mexican favorites with a few Italian inspired twists. This, of course, would be a location on any other Carnival ship where you might find the Blue Iguana Mexican joint. However, this is a fusion type restaurant now, and although most people stick to the classic Mexican offerings, it is a fun fusion option to explore for sure. I do love the Sicilian chicken wraps as well as the meatball hero sandwiches at the ready. And as I like to suggest to anyone hopping on board a Carnival cruise, you must stop by Tomodoro for breakfast and get the uber filling huevos rancheros, which you can also load up with toppings to your heart's content, as the toppings bar is available in the morning as well. It is also a perfect option if you are trying to get some grub before an early port day excursion. This is one of my, I think, top choices when it comes to getting off the ship early in the morning for something. I can always rely on Tomodoro or on other Carnival ships, the Blue Iguana. Also on this deck, Java Blue Cafe is poolside here, and while the specialty coffees and milkshakes do come with an upcharge in this environment, there are pastries here in the morning you could take advantage of. So if you love coffee, grab the coffee card here in this location and get your sixth drink free. in addition to your included pastries alongside your morning cup of joe. And I gotta say, this ship does a great job maximizing space use when it comes to food and beverage all over. An example of that is how the Firenze found a nice way to reuse the seafood shack space at the back of Deck 10 near the aft pool during breakfast and lunch. This spot moves things so quick that if there are lines, they don't really last very long. I noticed that omelets are also made back here in the mornings if the buffet becomes, I guess, too chaotic, we'll just say. While not a full slate of offerings that you might find at Shack's Big Chicken on other Carnival ships, this spot still manages to satisfy those chicken strip desires. And like I said, it moves fast for you. And on the other side of this same deck, you can grub down at Pizzeria del Capitano. This poolside pizza spot is perfect for grabbing a slice, especially late at night, like 4 a.m. late, for example. As always, the large portions will keep you coming back, and there are always 5 types of pizza pies to choose from. This location also moves very efficiently, and more often than not, you are receiving slices straight out of the oven. That's how fast they move. Look, if these options don't sound good to you, head upstairs one deck to a Lido overlook area where something exists on the Firenze that did not exist on the Venezia, and that is Il Mercato. This new addition on Firenze offers a dedicated space for hot and cold sandwiches like your steak and cheese, your turkey and Swiss, a hearty Reuben can be found here, along with fresh Italian salads, sausages, hot dogs, sauerkraut. You got your toppings here, your sauces, as well as pork and chicken meatballs. This location was often forgotten about and was open from lunchtime to well into the night until 11 p.m. So it became one of my favorite go-to spots for a quick meal or snack. The chicken meatballs in pesto sauce was something I really enjoyed, and the cold turkey and Swiss was the perfect sandwich on the go. And way up on the adults only Serenity deck, you can take advantage of a healthier option where Fresh Creations offers a custom salad bar daily away from the hectic Lido deck crowds. Those are the included food spots. Now let's turn our attention to the places that require an additional fee to enjoy here on the Carnival Firenze. One of the newest upcharge options here on Carnival in general is all things wings in the center of the Lido marketplace here on the Firenze, where $5 will get you 6 wings, or 24 wings for $18 are available with your choice of flavors. And as mentioned earlier, the Chicken Shack Dayside becomes something else in the evening. So if you're craving some seafood, head to the Seafood Shack near the aft pool. Lobster rolls and other seafood dishes are served here a la carte, and at $16, the lobster roll, very generously portioned, is enough to feed you and then some. Down on Deck 5, Carnival's newest specialty restaurant, Il Viaggio, offers a tour of Italian flavors beyond the typical Southern Italian fare. The portions here are quite large, and dishes like the pappardelle pasta or the grilled beef strip loin are fantastic. I had both on 2 separate visits to this specialty location, where you can choose to sit inside in a very well appointed, and we'll just call it a classy atmosphere, or you can do what I did and sit outside with that perfect ocean breeze to accompany my experience. For $42 per person, the value is undeniable, but be prepared for the sheer amount of food. From the diversity of the breads offered right up front to the fantastic starters like the house-made burrata and meatballs, and a great Italian Caesar salad. While you might be stuffed, you should never skip out on dessert here. In fact, I indulged in the phenomenal mile-high gelato pie one evening, which I was not able to finish. And on another, the crunchy yet sweet cannoli, which was a perfect complement to any Italian meal. I tried this restaurant for the first time on the Carnival Venezia, and while the food was great, the demand for the location was not. And I could tell they were still trying to work out the kinks of their new operation. The price point is much higher than the typical Italian spot on other Carnival ships known as Cucina del Capitano, and that may have also played into the lesser demand. The Firenze's Il Viaggio, while never slammed and always seemed to have walk-up openings, was considerably busier. And what I got a real kick out of was that any of the crew who took care of me in this restaurant on the Venezia ended up taking care of me here on the Firenze as well. What a fun moment it was for my server from that ship to recognize me at the same time I recognized him on this ship. It seems like they have finally figured out what makes this location special now, and have even altered the menu by degrees to respond to the feedback. I had that confirmed by the restaurant manager. I say if you've never dined here before, or you've waited to see the feedback from people that have, it is now time to give this place a shot. Also on Deck 5, the new empanada and pie concept on Firenze offers a small counter near the Tuscan Lounge serving savory empanadas, pies, and desserts. This location seemed to only really be open in the evening hours during live entertainment. The menu features 4 savory empanadas, 2 small pies, and 4 dessert options, along with various dips. Elsewhere on Deck 5, Carnival's signature steakhouse, Fahrenheit 555, continues to impress, especially when compared to rising steakhouse prices on land. At $49 per person, it is a great deal for the quality of the meal. I really liked the stuffed mushrooms with spinach and 4 cheese as my starter. My sides were buttered broccoli alongside Yukon Gold mashed potatoes, and that, of course, accompanied my cooked perfectly and seasoned just right 9-ounce filet mignon with 3 mustard sauce. The portions here, much like they have been on other Carnival ships, are filling without being gut-busting. Dessert is even more of a treat. Go with the iconic chocolate sphere or the caramelized apple tart on a base of puff pastry with vanilla ice cream on top, like I did. Another thing I like to share with anyone doing a specialty restaurant like Fahrenheit or Il Viaggio is that if you do a specialty restaurant on night 1 of your cruise, Carnival provides you a bottle of house wine as a thank you gift. Definitely worth checking out. And if you're craving some sushi, they got you covered too. Across from the steakhouse on Deck 5, Bonsai Sushi is a great onboard option. Open nightly for dinner and lunch on sea days. This fresh food opportunity is a pretty decent deal when you compare the pricing to what you might pay at a similar venue on land. I stopped here for lunch one day and ordered up a bento box that came with a salad, a California roll, and 3 pieces of sushi, all for $16. Bonsai Teppanyaki is directly across from the sushi, and if you enjoy the fun, interactive experience of teppanyaki, well, you're going to love this. The chefs here put on quite a show, and the food is plentiful. It's packed full of flavor, too. You do sit at communal tables for either meal, so always tell people if you're looking to meet others, if you are looking to establish relationships on a cruise, this is a great way to do it. Lunch is $44, dinner is $49. And of course, room service is available 24/7 on Carnival Firenze. The menu is a la carte priced. However, continental breakfast options are still complimentary between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. They don't advertise this anymore, and you do need to scan the QR code in your stateroom in order to see the menu. One of my favorite things to do as a solo is take advantage of this included room service option as a way to ease into my day with some piping hot coffee, pastries, and of course, a beautiful morning sea breeze. All in all, the Firenze did a great job with food and beverage options, and I so appreciate the way they have utilized spaces that may have otherwise been closed during certain points of the day during my cruise on the Venezia, even absorbing space dedicated to recreation activities on the other ship by adding Il Mercato just above that very demanding Lido deck. It feels like they learned from the Venezia operation and just made everything better. Carnival, in general, has some of the best included dining options of any cruise line, and they proved it again to me on this cruise. During my experience on the Carnival Firenze, I stayed in the exclusive Terrazza Cabana area at the back of the ship, which also came with an included daily breakfast served to our lounge. To learn more about that included meal and to hear about the strange bumps in the night that kept me up throughout my cruise, check out the video on the right.